Right. 12 February 2022. And today I want to quickly look at the 26 March by-elections. Campaigning is now in full swing. And today we saw the launch of the main campaign by President Idi Mnangagwa in Epworth. Very, very interesting event. And we also saw the launch of the campaign by the MDC Alliance of Monzora, Douglas Monzora, Senator. And I think what we are seeing now is not a campaign for the by-elections, but we've seen the beginning of the campaign for the 2023 elections. If you look at what is happening now, if you are listening to the campaigns, especially by President Mnangagwa, you can see that he's laying a foundation for his campaign in 2023. ZANU-PF is very, very organized. ZANU-PF is not the same party that you saw in the past. And they're going to pull out a lot of surprises in these particular by-elections, especially if they can get their people out to vote, because that is what is very important. If they can get their people out in places like Epworth to come out in their large numbers, then there will be a surprise. The MDC, the CCC, they're no longer guaranteed of a win in the cities, because ZANU-PF have changed their strategy of campaigning. If you see what they did with the young musicians, the crowd, a lot of young people, and ZANU-PF, a strong brand compared to the past, where ZANU-PF had a bad image in the cities. Now they have a very, very good image in the cities. And young people actually feel connected to ZANU-PF because of the projects that they are putting out. ZANU-PF is putting out a lot of projects among the young people. But today I want to quickly look at Nelson Chamisa CCC. I'm always very, very interested in what these guys do, because whereas ZANU-PF is now an established ruling party, the CCC is attempting to get into office. And so they should be doing things differently. But what they've done, very, very disappointing. If you look at the list of candidates that they've provided, this is the most disappointing list of candidates that they could ever have provided. So if you go to the government gazette, which I've put on gambako.com, if you go now, that is the top story, you will see that Nelson Chamisa has fielded candidates that are not impressive, especially in the big cities. They have made a lot of mistakes with their candidates. So let's go to the list. So you will see that I put a list here of the candidates. And I want to start with Harare Central. Harare Central, they've got Murisi Zwizwai. And this guy has been contesting for years. So the first point I want to make is that CCC is a new political party, according to what they're saying, is the new. But what they've done here is they've put old people, the same people that were in these positions, they've put them back to contest. So Murisi Zwizwai, very, very disappointing guy. If you live in Harare Central, I do not know if you've ever seen this guy. I do not know if you've ever heard him speak. In fact, these guys are career politicians. They get their positions in parliament and then they go away. They don't come back again. They don't make any effort. Harare is the most powerful seat in the whole country. In fact, if you are the MP of Harare Central, you are in a very, very powerful position to elevate yourself. In other countries, someone who becomes an MP in a place like Harare ends up becoming a presidential candidate in future. But I do not think Murisi is that kind of person. Look at guys like this, Lysias, Mandizidza, all these guys, Davis. And I want to mention that these guys don't have a lot of women. They've got very few women, and they did not hold primary elections. Another disappointing candidate to me Oh, that's my brother Argaetsunga there. Argaetsunga, very hardworking MP. I think he deserves to be an MP. That's a good person to be having as an MP. Very in touch with the community, always moving around. But look at someone like Tendai Biti. Very, very disappointing to see Tendai Biti contesting again. Tendai Biti has been in parliament for a very, very long time. And I would have expected Tendai Biti not to contest this time around, give other young people a chance and focus either on his own business or focus on the party. We now need someone who can understudy Chamisa so that if Chamisa is not in government or is not available to contest as a president, then that person, like Tendai Biti, could become the next presidential candidate. But he is so much interested in contesting as an MP, which I think is counterproductive. Tendai Biti, a big mistake for him to contest. He should have left this. And if he does these by-elections, what I expect is that in 2023, Tendai Biti won't contest. He will go out of these MP positions. He's got a business that is running. I don't know why he needs to be an MP. He needs to be doing other things. As I said, Regaitsunga, very impressive. Charlton Wende, this guy, he shouldn't contest in these elections. These are the guys that I'm saying they should be out of this thing. Happy Mochiziwa Bondo, I don't think these guys should be contesting. They've been contesting for years. Guys like Bondo, they're not adding value to Harare. The other problem that these guys have is that they do not have any business or anything that they're doing. So if you look at someone like Bondo, he's a struggling guy. We wrote an article a few months ago where we said Bondo was now struggling after they recalled him. He was unable to take care of himself. So we do not need MPs like that. What we need is MPs that they have some sort of industrial experience. They have some sort of, they can assist in the communities where they are, not just noisemakers. Look at someone like Amos Chibaya. Chibaya has been in parliament for a very, very long time. This is where the CCC is making mistakes. They are getting people that have been for a long time in parliament. They're not renewing, they're not recycling, they're not doing, in fact, they're recycling, they're not renewing. They need to be producing new guys, young people in the structures. If you see young people not registering to vote, this is the reason. Young people are not seeing any advantage of voting. Look at Mtsami. Mtsami, how long has Mtsami been contesting? And this is Chikanga Dangamvura. He's been in this particular constituency for a very, very long time, not doing much. You only see these guys when it's time for the elections. Very, very disappointing list of MPs from the MDC or from the CCC of Nelson Chamisa. There is nothing here that is new. I've never heard of her. She is for MP for Pumula constituency. She's contesting there. She'll probably benefit from the fact that the CCC of Nelson Chamisa has got high visibility in the cities, and she could benefit from that. But these candidates that we have here are not exciting. They are not inspiring people to go out to vote. This is the problem that we have. Now, I want to go back to Harare Central. I want to spend a bit of time there. We've got a number of candidates here, very interesting candidates. We've got Linda Masarira. She contested here. Linda has been very, very quiet ever since she found a new boyfriend. And we've got Rukanda Henry Gunyai of Mat Zimbabwe. We've got Mauricio Zai, as I said, of CCC. Totally a mistake to fill this guy. Chamisa should have put someone in here who represents the party, the new party. I think he missed an opportunity here. Marara, no rest. Mjamba Jecha, my brother from MDC Alliance, from MDC Alliance. I think he's done well. He was the first person to put posters around Harare. And I wish we could have a chat with him to say, what is it that he wants to bring into Harare? What is it that he needs to do differently? Because the MPs that we have, they tend not to do much. The MPs that we have, especially from the opposition, they go into these positions and then they disappear. Then I want to look at Matabeleland provinces here. in fact, if we look at Epworth, where President Mnangagwa was, there is Kureva Etheridge here of CCC. He's one of the people, the activists in MDC or CCC. We've got Hajune Innocent, who's an independent. Very few independents here. And then we've got Makari Zalera Hajune. She's a woman, and I think she'll do well. I would want her to win this seat for something different. And then obviously we've got Kuadzana, where there's quite a number of guys. Mafumo Nesbet, CCC has got Matambo Johnson, and ZANU-PF has got Nambu Betty. So ZANU-PF has got a bit of balance in terms of women. And this is going to be an interesting election. It's not going to be the same as before. And as I said, ZANU-PF has got a big opportunity here. If they get their people out, they should not even play with this thing that I'm saying here. ZANU-PF should do everything that they can, because CCC, MDC Alliance, they need to be given a wake-up call. Their councillors, their MPs, they've not been doing a good job. They're taking people for granted. They think that if they go out and put someone in a position of MP, that person, that candidate is going to win. And this time around, this is for ZANU-PF to lose. ZANU-PF have got the advantage as you speak. If they lose a seat, a constituency, it's because they did not do this thing that I'm saying, which is to say, organize every single ZANU-PF member in a constituency to go out to vote. The campaigning is number two. The first thing is for people to get out and vote. There's the MDC and CCC guys, they need to be given a wake-up call. Another interesting constituency is Dangamvrachkanga. You also saw Hosea Chipanga on Friday. He announced his new political party. Hosea Chipanga is a very interesting guy because his party, Patriotic Zimbabweans, has managed to field candidates in a lot of seats. I think he's got 18 constituencies in which he fielded candidates. That's stunning. That's amazing stuff. Hosea Chipanga has done a great job. And I think he's going to give these guys a run for their money. Mutseami, Prosper, this guy needs to be kicked out of this constituency. I wish that he would lose this election because he's not doing much. We've got people like Mufumi Isao. Mufumi Doctor, he's a very prominent guy. If I'm not mistaken, he's a prominent businessman. So we've got heavyweights here. Chipanga, a musician, Mufumi, who is a doctor and a businessman, and Prosper Mtseami, who is a regular. He's been in this constituency for a very, very long time. Then if we look at Mutasa, obviously, where I said there's people like Tsunga, Regai Tsunga is going to win here. I think CCC has done a good job in terms of engaging with the community, because Tsunga is a very nice guy. Although he was not in MDC or in CCC, he was actually part of Tendai Biti's party. He's very, very visible, very, very engaging, and very, in fact, you could see him on the ground, even after they recalled him as a candidate or as an MP. The problem we have with most of the guys here, CCC guys, they are very, very lazy. They spend most of their time focusing on party business. The constituencies don't benefit from from the MPs. And this is said. Now, if we go to most of the other constituencies, Mwenezi South, East, Chivi South, Mrewa South, Marondra East, Marondra Central, right? Marondra Central is very, very interesting. There's a guy here called Caston Mateo. Caston is, in the beginning, he was very, very visible. And then we've got Ignatius Mateweke from ZANU-PF. Now, places like Marondera, it's very simple. ZANU-PF has got an advantage. The only thing that they need to do is to get their candidates, their members to go out and vote. And I'm sure ZANU-PF has got this. They understand that this election, all these constituencies here, ZANU-PF can win. And the only problem is if there are people sit at home and they do not go out to vote. Mbizo, Mkoba, Kwekwe Central, these are all areas where ZANU-PF could easily win, because the CCC, the MDC Alliance, they've been decimated. The way that they've conducted themselves in these constituencies, it has made a lot of people very, very unhappy. a lot of people who are in these constituencies have never seen their MPs. And I want to take you specifically to Nkulumane. Now, Nkulumane, the guy who was here, right now we've got Pulu, Kutsatsa Pulu. Right, Kutsatsa Pulu is a very disappointing guy. He's never been to Nkulumane. You have never even seen him on any business in Nkulumane. I'm sure he drives past once in a while. But this guy, ever since he got appointed here, not much activity taking place. Nkulumane has got a lot of issues. If you look at, when I was a student, I used to live in Nkulumane, and that place, it was reasonable. Now I drove past, and everything is a mess, especially the roads within the suburb, the lights, things that used to work, they no longer work. It looks more like a growth point. You don't have an MP that is active there. And also, young people, they want to see the MP, and these things are not happening. So that is where the CCC is failing. They are failing to get MPs that can energize the population ahead of the 2023 elections. You can't put the old guys who were there in the past and then think that you're energizing people. There's nothing happening here. What I would have wanted to see is a young guy here like Ostalos. I would have wanted to see Ostalos as one of the candidates here. I do not know why Ostalos is not a candidate. This young guy is amazing. What he's been doing in the MDC or in the CCC since he came in, it's been amazing. This guy has done more work than any other member of the MDC. They should put him up as a candidate. Fadzai, I would have expected her to become a candidate now, not in 2023. She should have been a candidate at this particular point. She needs to get out of that position of spokesperson. She's not doing a good job there. So they need to make her an MP. A candidate like Fadzai, she would do well. In fact, she could, I'm sure if she was in the same constituency as Tendai Biti, she could do better than Tendai Biti. So basically, this is what I'm seeing here. I'm seeing a lot of poor decision making by Nelson Chamisa of the CCC in terms of understanding what this election is about. This election, the by-elections, they are not just about the candidates. This is a test. And ZANU-PF is well aware of what this election is, these by-elections are. They are going to put every effort in winning these elections. You will see the effort that the ZANU-PF is going to put here. And as I said, for ZANU-PF, it's simple. If ZANU-PF can get out 4,000 people in Harare Central, and they can get out at least 4,000 people in every constituency, even if it means going in to knock at everyone's house, every member's house, on that day of the election, ZANU-PF should do it. They're going to win because CCC has disappointed a lot of people, especially by putting out these people that they've put as candidates who are old, who in these constituencies who have done nothing for the people, especially in areas where people are going through a very difficult times. People in places like Bulawayo, I can say this every week. That place is an embarrassment. People have taken a great city and made it a sewage pond. Bulawayo is now a sewage pond. People are drinking sewage there because of MDC Alliance, because of CCC. The infighting that happened when Chamisa took over in the Bulawayo City Council, the tribalism, the corruption in that city, it destroyed everything. What a beautiful city that has been destroyed by these young guys. Right, I want to wrap this up. And I want to look at some comments. Guys, I've been going through a lot of, there's a project that we're doing here in South Africa. So it's really changing the way we operate at Gambako Media. So you may see that we've been coming less often, but obviously going forward, we're going to be coming more often. And it's exciting. The period that we're going into, it's very, very exciting. I'm going to make sure that I'm in Zimbabwe on the weekend of the by-elections. I want us to look at this. It's an important turning point in the history of our country. We are reaching a point in Zimbabwe where politics has changed. Listen to what President Mnangagwa was saying, VP Chwenga today. These guys, they are now using the politics of convincing people. Chamisa has to be very, very careful. It's no longer going to be like 2018 when he just walked over in the cities. I want these guys to be given a run for their money. In these by-elections, I want the MDC Alliance or the CCC to be beaten so badly that they will go back to the drawing table. They'll see that the people that they're putting here, they're not serving the interests of the people. Especially guys like Chibaya, Wende, BT. Those guys should be out of these elections. We should be having new people. And if you look at Binga, Dubeko Spanda, I saw that he is contesting there. These guys are having negative campaigns. If your campaign is all about Ngonzora, that's nothing. Prince Dubeko Spanda, if you look at all his campaigns, it's all about, it's a walkover. There's no one who's going to beat us. What did he do for the people of Binga when he was an MP? So those are the questions. You can win an election, but what do you do afterwards? That is the most important thing. And this is where these things go on. Now let's look at, I want to look at She's Doc. You're saying poor aside, Mr. Gambakwe, don't underestimate CCC. You'll surprise me. He won't surprise me because he's putting the same people. That's what I'm saying to you. Remember, these MPs are his MPs. He lost them. So if ZANU-PF does well, they'll win. They'll get an advantage. In Harare Central, if you put the guys that he has put there, honestly, do you really think people are going to come out to vote for these guys? Why would someone come out to vote for Maurice Zuzai? If you're in Harare Central, tell me why you would vote for Maurice Zuzai. And let's go to Tendai Beat. Harare East. Why would you vote for Tendai Beat in Harare East? What has it done for Harare East? Those are the questions that you need to ask. I gave you an example of Regai Tsunga, great MP who's done a lot of job. Even Caston has done better. But the rest of these guys, Vondo, what can Vondo do for you? What can Wende do for you? Wende, he spent how many years trying to build a library in Kwanzana East? And if you look at a guy like Chibaya is even worse. These guys, all the candidates are no good. This is where things are going to fall apart for the MDC, CCC. These guys have not thought about it. They should have done primary elections. You would have seen what was going to happen. It was going to be a stunning win. But we'll be back here at the end of the by-elections. And I'll be saying to you guys, look what happened. Remember, the CCC lost all the by-elections since the 2018 election. They have not won anything because of these same problems. The community is not happy with what these guys are doing, the current MPs. Then Emmanuel is saying, CCC yatotanga kufa isadi yaenda kure. CCC falling apart before it goes anywhere. And then Ricky Bear is saying, Gabako, you're drunk. I don't drink. And then let's go to, okay, I drink water. Let's go to Leroy Smanda. Wende is on the payroll, Uyo. I don't think so. I don't think people will put Wende on the payroll. He's not very useful. Spongile, good evening, Mr. Gambakwa. Good evening to you too. And then I want to look at Master Yoshi singing for a supper, Mr. Gambakwa. I don't sing for my supper. You see where I'm sitting right now. I'm sitting in South Africa. And I always tell guys, I've been here since 2016, 2006, in fact. So I'm going into my 20 years in South Africa. If I want to go to Zimbabwe, it's a 1-hour flight for me. And I'll be in my house in Zimbabwe. I don't have to sing for my supper. ZANU-PF is doing a great job. I mustn't tell you that ZANU-PF is not doing a great job so that I make you happy. I must tell you what is happening, what is on the ground. Look at that rally that ZANU-PF had today. If you are Nelson Chamisa, you understand what I mean. These guys are organized. They're focusing on the youth. They're focusing on the important issues. This is where we want change to happen. We don't want the same old MP that has been there since 2013. Maurice Zuzai, Tendai Biti, Chibaya. This is not change. So if you're going to say you want to bring change to people, bring proper change. And Chamisa has to be brave. He cannot just keep doing the same thing over and over again. That's weakness. And we are seeing it right here. We need a change. If you're going to say you're going to bring a change, you're going to challenge ZANU-PF, do it properly, but not by bringing the same old tired horses. And Mandla is saying Chamisa is just a charismatic guy who lacks leadership qualities. I don't know about charismatic, but I think the problem is the strategy part. The strategy part is the problem with Chamisa. And when he loses, he does not understand why. He thinks he's been rigged. There's no rigging here. And ZEC has done their part. The problem that we have with the CCC and the MDC alliance is they do not understand how to connect with the communities. And they insult the communities with their behavior. Especially the community of Harare Central. They must show these guys that they don't want to be insulted anymore because of these candidates, this type of candidate that you get. A candidate that never shows up, who only comes when it's election time, and then they disappear into the hotel. That is the problem with these candidates that we have. And also candidates that are too big for their constituencies, candidates like Tendai Biti, they must make them lose so that they understand what it feels like to lose, so that they work harder. And then my state is saying, what do you think about the MDC rally today? I did not watch. I don't know what happened with that rally. I was not invited. I was not notified. What I know is that ZANU-PF did a great rally, and the fight between MDC Alliance and CCC, that's a useless fight because it's like, what can I say? Two monkeys fighting over a banana. These guys, they can seriously lose to a powerful ZANU-PF. I don't think the fight is between CCC and MDC Alliance. These guys should be fighting, putting together their heads and fighting against ZANU-PF, but they spend more time fighting themselves. You think ZANU-PF cares what happened to MDCA or CCC? They want to win. They are not here to make another small party win. So it's clear that the priorities are wrong for these guys, for the MDC Alliance and the CCC. Right, Mnangagwa is even older than BT. I'm not saying Mnangagwa is the same as BT. You must understand. When you say you're bringing change, don't compare yourself with the person you want to remove. Do something different. And then Alan is saying, then start your own party. I don't want to start a party because I'm not a politician. You have never heard me saying I want to be a politician. I will never be a politician. I will not contest any election because I enjoy what I'm doing now. Imagine I have been here since 2017. In fact, since 2015. You have seen me every day. I have a platform and I talk what I like. I don't have to report to a boss, and I come every day. I don't get tired. And an MP, what do? An MP, they spend all their time waiting for the next election. That's not what I want to do. I'm more interested in business. I'm more interested in contributing into the economy of Zimbabwe in other ways. There are so many ways to contribute. That's why I'm saying people like BT, people like Mtseami, people like Wende, they shouldn't be contesting elections. Imagine having an MP like Job Scala. What is that? Honestly, guys, think about it. If someone gives you Job Scala to be MP, what do you expect to happen? Is that change? So those are the kind of things that I'm raising here. It's really sad. And it makes me laugh when someone says, I'm voting for change, I'm voting for BT, or I'm voting for change, I'm voting for Wende, I'm voting for change, I'm voting for Chibaya. That is not change. That is the problem that we have. And you need to think about it deeply. And this is where ZANU-PF is going to get this. If ZANU-PF just gets the people, because ZANU-PF has got a lot of people. ZANU-PF has got a lot of members. And now they're getting a lot of young people. I would like ZANU-PF to show these guys that it's not a straightforward win. That you're just because you wrote CCC and wearing a yellow t-shirt, then you're going to win. ZANU-PF, get your people out. And this is a strategy I'm giving you for free. Wake up in each constituency and knock at every door of every member of ZANU-PF and get them to go and vote and see what will happen. The guys in CCC will lose very, very badly. Right. Lynette Tendai Mukwena, I think God will punish you, Gambako. No, God likes the truth. And I'm telling you the truth. Right. I think this is enough. Guys, I've talked for long enough. And I hope that tomorrow will be back. let's have a look at what has happened here in South Africa. There is a serious operation here where certain groups have started going door by door, and they've started pushing out Zimbabweans, foreigners here. So we're in a very serious situation. Something bad is about to happen here in South Africa, especially as we go towards the elections in 2024. If you are here in South Africa and this is your only option, you should be thinking about other things. And if you don't have a permit, you should be thinking about other options, because this is going to be the most important issue in 2024. The ANC is under pressure, and there are groups, militant groups, that are arising, some of them even patrolling the borders, who are out to stop foreigners from getting in here illegally. And it's becoming an issue for all the political parties. So let's look at that. That is for the illegal immigrants. And then let's look at what has happened with legal migration. There's been a lot of changes. It's very difficult now to become legally a South African citizen or to have a work permit here. It's very, very difficult because the Home Affairs is blocking legal migration. They are stopping all the legal avenues of becoming a citizen and a permanent residence. It's now difficult to come to South Africa and do all these things. So that is what I had today. Very disappointing from Nelson Chamisa, CCC, all candidates who have disappointed their constituencies. Very few women, no primary elections, and generally ignoring and insulting the communities. This is ZANU-PF's chance to start winning the cities. And as I said, if they do the right thing, if they get their members to go out and vote, ZANU-PF is going to do very, very well. So this is it. And I really enjoyed talking to you guys. I'll be back tomorrow. Let's look at the topic that I was talking about. And thank you very much for watching.